Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast called The Research Behind Lift the Lid, where we talk to researchers previously funded by Australian Rotary Health about their research findings. I'm Jessica Cooper, and today on episode 23, we will be talking to Dr Siân McLean from La Trobe University. Dr McLean was awarded an Australian Rotary Health Lorraine and Bruce Mackenzie PhD scholarship from 2013 to 2016 for her project called Sociocultural and Peer-Related Factors in Body Image in Adolescent Girls, Implications for Prevention. We'll be talking about this research in further detail today. From 2018 to 2019, Dr McLean also received an ARH mental health research grant for the project Enhancing Social Media Literacy to Decrease Body Dissatisfaction, a randomised controlled trial. Dr McLean is a Senior Research Fellow at the Bouverie Centre in the Engaging Minds in Body Image and Eating Disorders research team. Her research focuses on sociocultural and individual factors that contribute to body dissatisfaction in children, adolescents, and adults. A particular interest is the role of media literacy in protecting against the negative effects of exposure to appearance ideal images on body dissatisfaction. Dr McLean's research interests also include weight bias, unhealthy weight control behaviours in males, and the effects of social media on body image. She is also highly experienced in school-based prevention and evaluation of programs to improve body dissatisfaction and well-being. Thank you for joining me, Siân, on today's podcast episode. How have you been going, especially with all the restrictions in Victoria at the moment?
Thanks very much for asking, Jessica. It has been a long haul, certainly getting a bit obsessive about the numbers, but they're really moving in the right direction. So hoping that things are looking up in coming months.
Good. Yeah, there's hopefully a light at the end of the tunnel and hopefully things start opening up again. Yeah. Well, I do appreciate you coming on the podcast. And I know just recently you've had a paper published in the Body Image Journal called Impact of Viewing Body Image Health Promotion Videos in Adult Men and Women, Comparison of Narrative and Informational Approaches. So this study wasn't quite part of your PhD, but it was conducted at a time when you were receiving funding support from Australian Rotary Health. So I guess to start off, would you like to tell us a bit about the aims of this study?
Yeah, absolutely. It was really great to have that support to do this extra study in an area that's really been underexplored. So I'm sure many people would be familiar with health promotion videos that are aiming to engage people in greater awareness of various issues or to change behaviours. And there have been some of those around for body image, but really they don't get evaluated. So we don't actually get to understand whether they do increase awareness of body dissatisfaction. But importantly, we also don't get to understand whether they might have any negative effects. So we definitely want people to have an increased awareness that body dissatisfaction is a serious health issue. But at the same time, we don't want them to feel worse themselves about their bodies. So it's really important to do the research to understand if that's the case. So we were able to do some research with some health promotion videos, like the kind that focus on other sorts of health campaigns, and to understand what the effects are.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a very interesting study. I know that, I guess, as well, like what came out of that?
So we were able to show participants some different kind of videos. So they watched two kinds of videos. One was what you might call like a mini documentary. So they looked at experts presenting some information on body image, and the other type was a fictional depiction of somebody experiencing some body image troubles. And they were paired with what we call a call to action. So the actress from the fictional video standing up and saying, have a think about body dissatisfaction, take it seriously, get involved. And so we're able to compare how people felt about themselves before and after watching the videos, and what they thought about body image as an issue before and after watching the videos. It was really pleasing to show that actually they did have a positive effect watching the videos, that people thought after watching the videos that body image was a more serious issue than they had at the start. And really importantly, that they actually felt better about their body image after watching the videos. So there was some concern that all this talk about body dissatisfaction and showing some media images might have contributed to some concerns in people, but overall we found that people had lower shape and weight dissatisfaction and lower muscularity dissatisfaction. So it was really terrific that we could do this study and have these positive findings and show that there are some campaigns that can be really helpful to put either in public health campaigns more broadly, or perhaps in prevention and early intervention programs.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's such a great outcome. And I guess today is, you know, something different for our podcast audience. We've got one of the videos that we used in the study, and that was produced by Big Picture Storytelling. And yeah, as you said, it was used as part of the study. So yeah, I guess I'll just I'll play that video now, and people can see what happened during that participation.
Hey, how was your day today? Good. Good? Look at those little feet. What'd you do?
Running.
Running. Oh, very good.
After Miss Harris said go, I just took off. My legs just went faster and faster and I went back heaps, Mummy.
Does that mean they're the favourite part of your body, mate?
Yes. Billy said I've got chicken legs. Do you think I've got chicken legs, Mummy?
I think that your legs are just perfect the way they are.
Mummy, what's your favourite part of your body?
Well, we all have parts that we like and parts that we don't like, don't we?
Yeah, but what's the favourite part of your body?
Well, you know what? Look, I would swap your perfect little chicken legs for my legs any day of the week. I mean, if you can even call them that. They're these two weirdly shaped things that have been the bane of my existence since puberty. I mean, they don't go brown, they don't tone up, and they don't get smaller no matter how little I eat. And you know how much Mummy loves food, yeah? I love food, but there have been times in my life where I haven't really eaten anything. Besides lemons.
Just lemons, Mummy?
Yeah. I mean, try that for 10 days and see how you feel. It's just bullshit. And you know what else is bullshit? Mia's mum, with her short shorts on Sports Carnival Day, going on about how she needs to lose 5 kilos before their trip to Bali because she's worried about cellulite. I mean, I've had cellulite since I was 12. Do you have any idea how that feels, Max? No, you don't. So if Mia's mum needs to lose 5 kilos to get rid of her non-existent cellulite, then how many kilos do I need to lose to be part of the short Sports Carnival Day Mothers Club? You know, I'm still trying to lose my baby weight. And don't even get me started on stretch marks. I hate my tummy now. I hate it. Gone are the days of wearing a bikini. I have to wear a one-piece while still trying to find creative ways of covering up my thunder thighs. I mean, I might as well just wear a fucking muumuu. You know, I only go to the beach because of you. I don't even like the beach. I hate the beach. I hate pools. I hate baths. I hate showers. I hate water. I hate fucking Bali.
Yeah, but what's the favourite part of your body?
Do you know what? You know, I love my tummy the most. I love it because it's the part of my body that reminds me of you, because that's where you came from.
Yes, Mummy. Mummy, how did I get in your tummy?
Yeah, that video, it's I guess it's very relatable for a lot of people, and yeah, definitely, yeah, shows a message that, yeah, lots of people aren't happy with their bodies. So, you know, a study like this is just, it's so important, you know, to try and raise that awareness of, you know, maybe trying to think about your body in a different way, and, you know, what it can do for you rather than, you know, how it looks. And yeah, well,
Absolutely.
So
and I think you've picked up,
yeah.
sorry, I think you picked up on a really important point of the video, that it's not just about talking or presenting the kind of downsides of body dissatisfaction. It's showing what it is really, but also showing, I guess, a solution out of it as well, and wanting to leave people with that solution of thinking about what their body can do, which is really important.
Yeah. So I guess were they some of the main messages that you were trying to convey to the participants in the study that, yeah, that.
Yes. So interestingly, the videos weren't made just for the study. They were made for a health promotion effort, but I was involved in the scripting of the video and checking that those messages did occur, because we know in health promotion, you don't want to just leave people with the negative effects of a health issue. You do need to give them somewhere to go with that and how to resolve that issue. So it was really important to finish on that note of how can you turn around those thoughts or conversations you're having with yourself, or the way that you're comparing yourself, and think a bit differently about your body image.
Yeah. Oh, that's so important. And I guess, yeah, having those videos, that visual, reminding you, like, to think a different way. I guess, yeah, that's so important.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess going back a bit further as well, you finished your PhD in 2016 called Sociocultural and Individual Factors that Contribute to Body Dissatisfaction in Children, Adolescents and Adults. Did you want to talk us through some of the reasoning behind conducting a project like this and what it involved?
I won't talk you through it all, because it was definitely a long process, but I was really lucky to do my PhD in a supportive environment at La Trobe Uni with my supervisors, Susan Paxton and Eleanor Wortham. And so I really started from the perspective of wanting to understand more about what happens when people do look at media images and how that affects their body image, and particularly what happens when they compare themselves with those images. But I also wanted to understand what might be protective. So when we compare, we see media images of very attractive looking people and compare ourselves with those images and maybe find ourselves wanting, then we do feel poorly about our body image. But I wanted to know what could protect from that negative effect. So that led me to thinking about media literacy, which had been used a little in prevention programs for body dissatisfaction, but hadn't really been understood very well. So I delved into that quite a lot. And media literacy is basically about being able to think critically about media, understanding what might be false in media or what might be true, or what are the intentions of the people who present the media, and whether they're trying to get you to do something or think a certain way or have a certain attitude about something. So does that make a difference for people if they're looking at media images? And it's really relevant for body dissatisfaction, because a lot of media does show those unrealistic appearance ideals, and most of us can't live up to those in real life, because we're all just a variety of people who look different ways. But also when those media images are edited and manipulated to such a high extent, nobody looks like those images do, even the models themselves. So I wanted to know if young girls had those skills to be critical about media, whether that might protect them against the effects of viewing media images, and also whether we could increase those skills in young people to help them feel better about their bodies.
Yeah, that's so important, especially with social media and just scrolling through and seeing so many images of these people who are just portraying the best part of themselves and the highlight reel of their lives. So having those skills would just it would be so important, especially for young girls as well. So I guess did you find anything interesting from this PhD project, like any helpful knowledge about the body image space today?
Certainly all research is incremental, and there are sometimes some small gains, but I'm really pleased that many of the findings of my PhD are still relevant for body image research now. I think particularly my research did show, and we'd known this before, that when adolescent girls compare themselves to media images, they do feel worse about their body image. But my research was the first to show that if they had those media literacy skills, they were protected against feeling bad about themselves. So that's something that we can continue to capitalise on and try and understand now, how people can access those skills and use them in everyday life to not be affected by, as you say, that best self presentation, particularly on social media, that is so easy to get sucked into when you just see that constantly. And also it's certainly the case that media literacy continues to be a really important focus for school-based body image prevention. But as you mentioned, Jessica, with social media now, that's really where our focus is, in trying to move traditional media literacy, which thought a bit more about advertising on telly or in magazines, to now thinking about, well, what's it like when it's all your peers on social media, your friends who are presenting their best selves, and the focus is on appearance. So we need a bit of a different strategy for social media than our traditional media literacy. So there's definitely still more work to do in that field.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, it certainly sounds like there's so much more that you can learn from this, and so many other research avenues that can flow on. So yeah, and I know as well, like with your recent mental health grant from Australian Rotary Health, that was that also finished quite recently. Was that also related to your PhD research, or?
Yeah, it was, Jessica, and I was really grateful to be able to continue on with research that I'd started in my PhD. So separate from the grant, we did some other work around media literacy being protective in adults, and then that combined with what I found in my PhD led us to applying for the Australian Rotary mental health grant project. And that's a combination of the two, because we're working with adults, but we're also working with social media. So in this project, we've extended the prior work into developing a 3-module social media literacy intervention, and it's called Reel to Real. So you mentioned the term highlight reel before, and we're very much focused on that idea about social media literacy being a highlight reel, but wanting people to be able to live their real and authentic life on social media, because social media is not going away. We don't want people to lose the beneficial aspects of being able to be connected with friends and engage in a whole range of interesting activities. But what our Reel to Real program does is allow people to move through the modules to focus on an understanding of what is real on social media and what is manipulated to just be a best self, or actually just be about selling products. And to try and change the way that people compare themselves with those online presentations. So either to reduce comparisons, or to say, well, okay, someone's selling something, they've put a lot of time and effort into that. I don't need to compare my everyday self with those kind of images or feel bad about myself. And then also to help people engage, I guess, more authentically with social media in a way that really reflects their values and interests, not just in this constant seeking out of reassurance about only appearance. Let's broaden social media use to get some of the terrific benefits that it does offer. So we've been really fantastic to be able to continue this focus on that element of our research.
Yeah, and as I said before, it's such an important, it's so important to now and what's happening today, and so many people access social media. So having these kind of interventions to help them think critically about what they're seeing, and that might affect them, I think that would be really helpful, and people could get a lot of use out of it. So it sounds like a really important study. I know that you're working through the results of that at the moment as well. Is that something that might be released soon, or like maybe go towards publication?
Yeah, I'd love it to be released soon, but we do still have a fair bit of work to do on that. I can say, kind of in a sneak peek, that we've looked at some preliminary analyses and did find that the young people who went through the program did have improved body satisfaction and also reduced depressive symptoms. So that was really fantastic. They were our key outcomes for the study. So we've got a sense of some of the findings of the study, but need to finish that off in the next few months and get those results out there. So I'm really keen to do that.
Yeah, well, that sounds very exciting. And once those results are out, it would be great to have you back on the podcast to talk about them again, if you're happy to.
Absolutely, love to. Yeah, more than happy to talk about Reel to Real and what we found.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. And I know, our Rotarians who raise funds for our research, they always like to hear about the outcomes that comes from the donations that they put in and the work that they put into fundraising. I guess just one more thing. Do you think maybe you could explain to our audience, who are mostly Rotarians, the kind of impact research funding may have had on your career, and why keeping these efforts going to support mental health research is so important?
Yeah, absolutely. In thinking about the first point, it's been an amazing impact on my career to have support from Australian Rotary Health for my research. And I think one of the reasons, not just supporting me personally in being able to develop my career, but one of the reasons it's so important to have mental health research funded is that there's then continuity in research. I said earlier that research gains are pretty incremental, but if you're able to continue your research focus, you can build on those gains in a really meaningful way rather than being a bit choppy and stop-start. If you can have a continued focus on a topic, I think you're really able to strengthen what you can understand from that topic. And that's really fundamental to the research of researching mental health, but also in being able to then improve the mental health of Australians through this research. And opportunities to do really meaningful work and have that funded are not very common in the Australian context. And I don't know how well Rotarians understand the place that Australian Rotary Health has in mental health research funding. It's really extremely well known and central to the funding landscape, and so appreciated by researchers that we have opportunities to conduct our research. And ultimately, we want to better understand mental health and have that contribute to better interventions for people all across Australia and across the world. Our researchers, the findings are not just limited to Australia, they have implications across the world. And what Australian Rotary Health does by providing the funding, providing some training for early career researchers and nurturing their careers is really important for the next generation of research in Australia. So Rotarians do a terrific job in this space.
Yeah, well, it's been really great to have you on our podcast today, Sian, and talking about your research and what you found from it. It sounds like it's, it will have an important real world impact for young adolescents and adults. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Jessica. I've really enjoyed having a chat with you today.
Yeah. Well, that was the 23rd episode of our podcast called The Research Behind Lift the Lid. It's always so inspiring to hear what researchers in Australia are doing to make a difference to mental health and how they are helping us on our mission to lift the lid on mental illness. If you can, please support important mental health research like Sian's by donating on the Australian Rotary Health website. Thank you for listening. Please join us again next time.